Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Kiddie Korner Media. And today we're taking on a really big topic. But before we do, it has been a little while since I've made a video, and that's mainly because there was a passing in my family, and we had to travel for the service and say our last goodbyes. And it was a tough experience, but it made me think back to the first time I had to talk to my own child about losing someone we love. And the book nerd I am, I used some books to bring the concept to her, and it helped. So today I'm highlighting 2 books on how do we explain to our really little ones what is death and what does it mean. The first book I have is called Something Very Sad. Now this particular one is geared towards toddlers and the much younger. And it talks about losing a grandparent. And it beautifully keeps things simple and straightforward. They explain death for a toddler in a way that they can understand, that they can grasp. They know that when a toy is out of batteries, it doesn't work anymore. And that was the analogy they used. Grandma's batteries broke and unfortunately can't be fixed again, and she'll be gone. It acknowledges that you're going to feel sad. It acknowledges all of the complicated situations, but in a manner that the kids can handle, especially for one so young. And what I really like about this book as well is that first, it emphasizes that love doesn't die. It will always grow, even when we miss our loved ones. But at the end, there are notes, suggestions for parents and caretakers, as well as a list of resources and guidance for the future when dealing with this subject. So that was very helpful to look through. And creating your own ideas of how do we explain what's to come after this. Now, if you have a child who's a little older, maybe needs more content than and more conception than what we have in this book, there is another lovely book called I Miss You. Now, this one explains it more deeply, going through the whole process. What is death? What is, and how it could happen for many reasons. And what are funerals? What are the feelings we go through? And one thing that I really liked about this book, not only is its delicate handling, that unfortunately everything that lives does die at one point. It's a natural cycle, which is what I like about it. But on some of the pages, it gives you a question. So if you're reading this to someone to help explain that there is a passing of a loved one, it takes a moment to stop and ask a question. And on this page, for example, it will ask, what about you? After someone dies, it's normal to feel sad, angry, guilty, afraid, and even happy. What are you feeling? So it takes the time to open the discussions and bring out what those kids might need to say or hear or feel in the moment, and let them know that it's okay, that it is complicated and messy. And even if you can't explain exactly how you're feeling, they know that they're safe. They're safe to talk to you about it. They're safe to talk to others about it. And that's what's really important. And also in the back of this one, there is also a list of resources as well as how to use this book too, which I thought was very helpful. From there, have the discussion, share the stories of those loved ones. Remember that even though they're gone, it's okay to miss them. It's okay to be sad. In time, it's also okay to have the happy moments. It's okay to remember them with joy and love. And it's okay to feel angry too. All of it is natural because there's no guidelines. But if we understand what's going on a little better, we could at least deal with it. In my own family, we have a tradition. The first time my daughter lost someone that she cared about, we bought a stuffed animal and named it after the person so that she could always look at that stuffed animal and remember the memories of the joy and the love she had for that person. It's a tradition we keep up, and it's only one thing of many things. I've heard of families who will buy a pet or a plant, name it after their loved one, so again, that person's still with them in their hearts. This is not an easy subject, and these books mainly deal with understanding what is the concept of death, what happens. In another video, I will bring out 2 more books to talk about grief and the emotions behind that. And I hope that you join us for that discussion. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And if you have any suggestions that you would like to touch on here, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you. Have a good one. And pass on that positivity. Bye.